This video contains or may contain spoilers for Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is known for many of its attributes, one of them being its incredibly compelling storyline. The story as a whole is to be admired, but there are certain moments that especially tug at the heartstrings. I picked out some of these moments that felt particularly significant to me and ranked them from 1 to 10. I'll be counting them down in this video. Number 10, the Hollow Knight and Sealed Siblings endings. I put these two together because the scenarios are largely the same. To me, it just feels very sad to see a character, or characters in the case of Sealed Siblings, that you've spent so much time with as you've been playing through the game get chained up and sealed away forever. It can be hard to watch. Number 9, the Seer's Ascension. The Seer has passed on all of her knowledge to the Knight, and so her time in the world, and with her the Moth Tribe, has come to an end. Even in her final moments, the Seer feels guilty for her tribe having forgotten their creator, telling the Knight that they don't deserve to be remembered. Despite this, she herself expresses that she remembers the Radiance before she disappears. The Seer is one of several characters whom the Knight spends a notable amount of time with during the game's story and eventually must say goodbye to. Number 8, Hornet's encounter in the Beast's Den. In this moment, Hornet is fully displaying her trust in the Knight. Up to this point, she has witnessed them prove their determination in battle twice, risked her own life to save them from the collapsing of the cast-off shell, and watched them end her own mother's life. Even so, Hornet has it in her to candidly express herself in a way that the Knight has not witnessed her do so before, shedding her hard front and spilling her heart. This is probably the closest the two come to any real sibling bonding, but I'll take it. Number 7, the Shade siblings rising up during the fight with the Radiance. The Knight uses the power of the Void Heart to summon the Void for assistance in defeating this final enemy, which also ends up calling upon several of the lingering shades of the Knight's long-lost siblings. The Knight has been alone for much of their journey, but now, at its conclusion, they are surrounded by what's left of their immediate family. Even the Hollow Knight's shade joins the Knight at the very end, helping them by giving them an opening to finish off the Radiance. Number 6, sitting by the Blue Lake with Quirrell. Quirrell's words and tone communicate that this is the last time he and the Knight will be seeing each other. He tells the Knight that he was happy to have met them and helped them in their quest to save Hallownest. The Knight, of course, cannot vocally respond, but that doesn't diminish the moment. It only proves that these two don't need to speak to connect. The Blue Lake setting is significant because Quirrell had previously expressed that he would love to see the source of the rain in the City of Tears, and now, during his final moments, he gets to do so in the company of a friend. Number 5, the White Defender reaching out to the silhouettes in his dream. The 5 Great Knights and the Pale King were the Defender's dearest friends, almost like family to him, and he longs for the days when they were all together. He sadly reaches out to their silhouettes, knowing that they are only memories, and watches as they too fade away. It really drives home just how much was lost in the fall of Hallownest to those who survived it. He even tells the others, and himself, that they will see each other again, impossible as this would be. He is not only grieving, but in denial. Number 4, broken vessel and lost kin reaching out towards the knight right before they die. It's clear that this vessel did not want to attack the knight, and they briefly regain some sentience when the infection is expelled from their shell at the end of their fight. During this moment of consciousness, they know both who they are and who the knight is, and they only have enough energy left for this small gesture before collapsing again. A happier counterpart to this moment is the lost kin spirit giving the knight a bow to acknowledge them after their dream ends. Number 3, the Hollow Knight stabbing themselves during their fight. The Hollow Knight is under the control of the Radiants here, but this seems to be something that they're doing voluntarily. They know that they can no longer contain the infection, they know what needs to happen, and they want to help that along, even if it causes them pain. They could even be consciously punishing themselves for failing to keep the infection at bay forever. Their stature and expression make it very clear that they are experiencing physical pain at this moment. Number 2, the birthplace memory. From watching the many dead vessels fall after failing to escape the abyss, to watching the very same thing happen to the knight when their own father and sibling abandoned them, this one cuts deep. It's especially sad to know that the knight was only seconds away from escaping themselves, and seeing the Hollow Knight look back at them for just a second before turning away and leaving. The knight and their siblings came into the world in such a cruel way, and now the knight is being forced to relive the height of it. As with any proper top 10 list, I'll be listing off my honorable mentions before we get to number 1. These are, in no particular order, giving Elderbug the delicate flower, witnessing Cloth die during the fight with the Traitor Lord, finding Tiso's corpse after he died in the Colosseum, seeing the Grey Mourner finally at peace, and watching the last stag's name change to Old Stag as he realizes he may not be the last of his kind after all. Number 1, the Dream No More ending. A lot happens here. The cutscene is about 1.5 minutes long. This moment is the definition of bittersweet. The radiance and therefore the infection is gone, but so is the night. Probably the most heart-wrenching part is Hornet looking back on the knight's broken shell, especially when you remember that the knight was her last living family. It is satisfying, however, when the scene transitions to the many lost shades at the bottom of the abyss finally being put to rest after the vessel's true ultimate purpose has been fulfilled. So what do you think? Do you agree with my inclusions on this list and the order I ranked them in? What are your top emotional moments in Hollow Knight? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, check out my other Hollow Knight videos, and subscribe to my channel for more. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.